All right, so we have reached the end of Unit 7, and I'm going to work through this Unit 7 review sheet for you to help get everybody ready for their upcoming test. So the first question says, what do all waves transfer? And that's a big idea in this unit and next. And all waves transfer energy. What state of matter does sound travel through the fastest? And that is going to be a solid, because the particles are the most densely packed, so the sound wave can just go straight through it. What state of matter does sound travel the slowest? And that is going to be a gas, and that is because in a gas the particles are spread further apart, so they have to jump from one particle to the next, and that takes longer. Okay, now we have some matching, and it says write the letter of the term that best fits the statement. So for number 4, the top of a transverse wave, and the top of a transverse wave is going to be the crest, so that is letter E. I'm going to mark that out. The most dense part of a longitudinal wave, that's going to be where everything is squished together, so that's going to be a compression, that is G. So you should be checking your work as we go over these answers. If anything is incorrect, make sure that you fix it. If it's right, put a check beside it. Number 6, the least dense part of a longitudinal wave, that's going to be H, the rarefaction, right here. The bottom of a transverse wave, that's going to be F, the trough. So remember that you have mechanical waves, and they divide into transverse, which move perpendicular, and longitudinal, which move parallel to the medium. That's a big concept right there on your test. All of these require a medium. All right, number 8, a wave that does not need a medium to travel through. It can travel through outer space. That's going to be what our next unit is all about, electromagnetic wave. So that's going to be D. The medium moves up and down or side to side as the wave moves forward. The medium moves perpendicular to wave direction. Well, that perpendicular is going to be a transverse wave, so that is B. The medium moves in the same direction as the wave. The medium is parallel to the wave direction. That's going to be a longitudinal wave. Remember, longitudinal starts with an L, ends with an L, so it is parallel. So that's a longitudinal wave. That's going to be C. And then a wave that does need a medium to travel through, that's going to be a mechanical wave. That's our last one. All right, for part 2, our unit for frequency. Remember, if it's got too high of a frequency, it hurts my ears. So it's E, hertz. Distance between two identical points on a wave, that's going to be C, wavelength. The height of a wave, also the energy carried by the wave, that's going to be B, amplitude. The number of waves that pass a point each second, that's going to be D, frequency, how often a wave occurs. And the matter or stuff that a wave travels through, that's going to be A, medium. Remember, medium is just a fancy word for matter. Flip on over. Part 3. We've got constructive and destructive interference, interference in general, and then Doppler effect. Two waves combine and make a larger wave. We've constructed, we've made something, so that's going to be B, constructive interference. When waves just meet and combine, that's just general interference, so that is A. Two waves combine and make a smaller wave. That means they cancel each other out. So that's C, destructive interference. And then the change in frequency of a wave as the wave maker moves toward or away from the observer, like a race car sounds as it goes by you. It's that characteristic meow, with the high pitch as it approaches you and the low pitch as it goes by you. Remember, the car engine never actually changes, but it's the Doppler effect that makes it sound like it changes. So that is D. All right, here comes the fun part. We got to do some drawing. So if your drawing is missing anything, you need to go and add it, because our directions say to draw and label. So we need to make sure that we include all of our labels in our pictures. So we have to have a transverse wave. We need to include the crest, the trough, the wavelength, the amplitude, and the resting position. So I'm going to start drawing. Kind of nervous with all of y'all watching me. Okay, so there's my transverse wave. I'm going to go ahead and do my little line across the middle. Okay, I'm going to label that as my resting position. I'm going to label my crest, my highest points, my trough, my lowest points. I'm going to go ahead and label my wavelength. Remember, that can also be lambda. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in an amplitude. But remember, this can also be amplitude here. Okay? So take a moment and check your picture. Feel free to highlight if you want to. My crests are pink. My trough is blue. My wavelength, which is also known as the Greek symbol lambda, is green. My amplitudes will be orange. You're going to have to know this all over, forwards and backwards, for your tests. My amplitude is orange. And what's the only color that's left in highlighter world? Because I don't have a purple. My resting position will be yellow. Okay? Alright, 22. A longitudinal wave include rarefaction, compression, and wavelength. So for a longitudinal wave, where transverse are usually water waves, a longitudinal wave is usually a sound wave. Okay? So I'm going to have a mouth going to an ear. Somebody's talking. Wah, 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 wah. So here's my compressions, where the air particles are close together. There's a rarefaction. And there's another compression. Okay? So this is a compression, compression, and rarefaction. So the compressions are going to be pink. The rarefactions are going to be blue. And then my wavelength is just from two same points on the wave. So my wavelength could be from the beginning of a compression to the beginning of the next compression. That would be my wavelength. And I'm going to make that green just like in the picture above. That's my wavelength. Alright. Number 23, a high and low frequency wave that would also have a high and low pitch. So high frequency, high pitch. So that's going to look like this. It's going to sound like this. Low frequency, low pitch, boom. It's going to be more deeper and more drawn out. So, low frequency, low pitch, going to have a longer wavelength. High frequency, high pitch, much shorter wavelength. It's going to have a lot more energy too. Okay? A diagram of how we hear. Oh boy. Alright, so it's going to have, I'm just going to do the order that they come. The ear canal to the ear drum to the hammer, anvil, and stirrup, then the cochlea, then the auditory nerve, and then who is last? Then the brain. Okay? Doppler effect on a race car. Let me draw a race car. So, I'm just going to try to draw a car. I don't know if it's going to look like a race car. Y'all are about to laugh at me. Can't wait to see what y'all's cars look like. Alright, let me show that this, I don't even know what the front of this car is. Let's show that the car is going that way. Okay. So the car is going in this direction, and so that means that these sound waves are getting bunched together, and these are spread out. Okay? So this has a high frequency, high pitch, also a high energy. And then this would have a low frequency, low pitch, low energy. And y'all already heard me do the race car noise, so I'm not going to do it again and embarrass myself further. Alright, number 26. Draw and label a picture of an alarm clock and a vacuum pump as the air is being removed. So here is the bell jar, and here is the alarm clock, and here is the air being removed. Okay? And as air is removed, the sound goes away, because sound has to have a medium to travel through. It's a mechanical wave. So I'm going to add a little color to these pictures because you can tell I got in a hurry at the end. And look over this for your test. Let's make a little high frequency pink, high frequency, high pitch, high energy. And have a great rest of your day.